AC, hello, someone's here. If it's possible, I am somehow even less prepared for this stream than last stream, and I was like sat at my desk ready for like at least half an hour before this, so I have no one to blame but myself. But here we are. So you have to give me a... Can't remember what font size I had. Can't remember what I was doing. Can't remember my own name. What's this? What were we doing? UFPS? Something like that? Something like that. Julian, resubbing, thank you very much. So I probably going to stop scheduling the streams on YouTube because I found previously, like, some people are into videos, some people are into streaming, some people are into both. But because I can't get videos out that often, I tend to find my timeline gets absolutely flooded with all the streams when I schedule them, and then that is not for everyone. So I sort of scheduled the first few to kind of get engagement going, and now I'll probably just start them because they start the same time every week, and the schedule is on Discord if you're interested. So not live on YouTube at all. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Okay, hang on. Okay, hang on. Technical difficulties then. Sorry, I thought that's what you meant. Oh, yes. Okay. It says I'm live on YouTube Studio. So stream settings. This is going to be oh my goodness, what's going on here? Okay, hang on. It will set itself to unlisted, right? Well, has that changed? No, it was set to unlisted for some reason. So no, it was set to unlisted. I don't know why. Okay. Okay, that was bizarre. I don't know why. I don't know what in the bowels of YouTube had changed there. Around, hello. Apologies. We've been streaming for hours. For some reason, it had been set to unlisted on YouTube. Hello. Apologies. Turns out I really don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just set up my environment, and like you're not missing anything by having it on the small screen. Hard. I think that's what I want. Okay. I've already started the shorts timestamp. In fact, let me just quick test. That works. Thank you. I think it's so annoying because I remembered everything. I remembered to hit the Discord notification. I remembered to set up the timer. I didn't remember to set up my dev environment, but I can do that live. And then for some reason, YouTube was like, nah, mate. So apologies. We'll flood in now. Julian, hello. Dort, hello. Everyone, apologies. Can I make a button that links all these actions together? Possibly. Yeah, I don't know, because I assume you can there's probably a Discord hook for sending the alert. I'd have to check with AC. Okay, let's do this. Let's see where we're at. Don't even have Docker running yet because I normally just hibernate my PC, right? So when I come back, all the windows are exactly as I left them, and everything works, and that's grand. Just sporadically decides to reboot, so I've lost everything, which is a little bit annoying. Is the font size like the font size okay? I can't remember what I had it as before. Connor, hello. Marcus, hello. Seems good. Okay, right. Okay, now that Docker's running. Cool, okay. Docker build, and so this is what we had, then we press T, and then we get another triangle. Cool. Okay, so first of all, oh no, don't update anything. We're gonna go for a new aim of the game today. I want a cube, and ideally I want to be able to move around that cube. Okay. I don't know many resources for metaprogramming. It's one of those things you tend to just pick up as you need it. There is like the templates book if you're interested in learning more templates, but it does stop at 17, so that probably won't get you what you want. I guess if you want more metaprogramming stuff, like the current hotness, I guess would be more const extra stuff, const eval, and concepts. So take all your spin and throw it into the C and replace it where you can with concepts. This is WSL. Okay, so first of all, fun fact: there is a bug, so it's kind of working, but it's not working the way we should. So yeah, it's because it's quite a niche. I think metaprogramming is quite a niche thing, especially if you want to kind of go full in on it. And any resources you find will probably be more Spinne based, which is kind of, it's all right, but there are other ways of doing it. So I can't really recommend you like a thing, I'm afraid. Okay, so there's a single bug that I found so far. So if you can remember, cast your minds back to the previous stream, we are building a command buffer. So we're using MDI, multi-draw indirect. We construct a buffer of render commands, which we upload to the GPU, and then we say then in a single draw call, or a single OpenGL function call, we're like, draw all these commands. Low overhead, low drive overhead, blah, 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 all good stuff. This itself is also optimized because it uses a persistently mapped buffer with a coherent bit set, something. You get a pointer back and you write to, and it magically appears on the GPU with minimal synchronization. The downside of minimal synchronization is that there is minimal synchronization. So to counteract that, basically we don't want to risk writing to memory that the GPU is also reading from. So to counteract that, we have a triple buffer system set up. So we basically write all the commands to a section, and then we draw those, and then we move to the next one. So on the next frame, we are writing to the next chunk of command buffer data, which means if the GPU is for some reason still churning through it, it's using the previous frame, and then we've got 3 of those to kind of give us enough headroom. This hit basically, so what we do is we say bind that buffer. When we bind this buffer, we bind the whole lot, the whole 9 yards, the whole 3 sections, and then we say draw, but we always draw from the beginning. Like we never tell it you're on frame N and you should now render the commands from any of the thirds. It's always the first one. Connor, congratulations. It is indeed a bug. So because of the beauty of the OpenGL API, this is a pointer, and it will either point to a CPU side command buffer, or if this is already bound, this will become the offset into this buffer that we need to render. So we need to munge a number into this pointer. And I need to get that number from somewhere, and I suspect I need to be able to query the command buffer and basically say where in your concept of your internally managed buffer is the current offset. So let's make that a thing. So I think what we want is something like auto offset the size T. I might actually make that offset bytes just because I think there's going to be lots of concepts of offsets here, object offsets and byte offsets. I think we can try and be a little bit more explicit. then I think that's going to be a little less confusing. So this here, I think we're going to have to drill down to get this out. So after advance, so offset bytes, that'll probably const, right? Stood size t, and then this is going to need to return a thing, probably from the multi-buffer, because the multi-buffer will know its offset, so I think we just have to go into there and do that. I would consider OpenGL easier than Vulkan. I don't think many people would argue with that. OpenGL is a little bit esoteric, and I suspect Vulkan is, whilst it is low level, is an abstraction that more closely maps the underlying hardware, whereas OpenGL is this kind of weird rando state machine. But I think it is easier to wrap your head around. So let's do multi-buffer. So somewhere in here we're going to want auto offset bytes const the size t. Is my dome in the way? And then I could actually call it frame offset, because we've already got that, but then I'm worried I'm mixing terms. But oh, I've already hang on, I've got to make sure I get this right. I think that's fine, as long as you call it before advance, which is what's expected anyway. But I will go through it. I've already changed my name. I changed my frame offset bytes. And then return command buffer dot frame offset bytes, and then main. Nope, renderer. You can make Vim quite close to an IDE, like whether you like. It's kind of personal preference. It does not make you any better at your job using Vim. I don't think. I think it's just, do you know what I mean? Like it's a bit of fun. Like obviously you can be more productive, I guess, and type faster and stuff, but I don't think it's like prerequisite for being good at your job. I'm from the UK, from Blighty. I think there could be yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the wider spread adoption of Vulkan, but also the I guess the presence of translation layers as well. But yeah, I can definitely I think Vulkan is probably the future, but I just think it is incredibly complex for at least what I want to do. So that's why I'm kind of happy sticking with OpenGL. What does this do when it's at home? Let me just. What we got? GL multi draw arrays indirect, I think, and such. Oh, it's Kronos down. That's an absolute nightmare. How am I going to know what anything does? I've spent a little bit of time tweaking my NeoVim. Most of it is lazy Vim, lazy Vim, or whatever it is. There's a NeoVim kind of standard setup. I just took that and just slowly tweaked it. Okay. So here's what we're doing. Obviously, this is just the same as multiple calls to this, obviously. Somewhere in here is is it draw elements? No, I want draw arrays. Sorry, apologies. That's the next thing to do, is that draw arrays. We need to do instance rendering as well. Man, Kronos is slow today. All these people looking up the OpenGL docs. I think this is be like a GL void star. Here you go. Const void star indirect. And here it says specifies the address of an array structure, blah, 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 blah. If a buffer is bound to the GL draw indirect buffer, which it is, binding at the time of a call to this call, indirect is interpreted as an offset in basic machine units, I guess bytes, into that buffer. So we want to replace this with reinterpret cast const void star command buffer dot offset bytes. That looks like safe code to me. So that should blend. Sure. Yeah. I mean, like, how many bits in a byte? Who knows? Could be anything. Could be 9. Okay. So that's. I actually probably want to test this. So in the quad right, let's. I don't really like mixing these, but this should be assert equal mb dot frame bytes offset 0u, and then after we advance it, this should be 1zu times data dot data view dot size bytes, and then after we advance it, it should be there, and then after we advance it, this should F1 or 2, and then this should go back to 0, I think. Cool. Okay. Nice. So return frame offset from multi buffer, turn byte offset from command buffer, and then fix offset bug in renderer. Okay, cool. Right, nailed it. You can ship it now. Okay, so the next thing now is I want to render. So there's a couple of things we need to do. One, we need to get a cube in there, which is not too hard. The second, we need to switch over to indexed rendering, which shouldn't be too hard, but there's a bit of mechanics around it. I think we'll do that first, and then after that, we can bring in the matrix class, we can bring in the camera, and then we can start like munging that together. So let's find my cube. Where's my cube from the previous game? So let's go main. So let's get rid of all this chuff. Okay. Shouldn't, yes. my trademark signature shouldn't be too bad. And then like frantically at the end of the stream trying to get something doable so I can at least get a community post out of it. Okay. Let's do pull some of this out. Again, this will all have to disappear eventually, but for now, I know, right? What am I returning these days? Is it a mesh view? No, I want like the raw data. So what does mesh manager? I've already forgotten. What does this take? A vector of vertex data. Okay, fine. So let's do auto cube third vector of FPS vertex data. Okay. So that's what we'll do is we'll get this in, and then so this will then just become cube. Oh, much less brackets. There's no real theme. I just want to be able to run around and shoot a few things. Like there'll be very little gameplay. All right, so from before, so I had this before. I'm glad, really pleased Clang Format has decided to shift all that to the right. I wonder if actually if I stick that in there, if this will make it a little bit better. Okay, that's better, question mark? I'm just going to render all these the same color. So what I should be able to do is do return positions, stood views transform const nope const auto e return UFPS vertex data dot position equals e dot color equals UFPS colors azure. Probably pick some random colors at some point, but for now, let's just see if we can get this rendering. Third ranges to the vector. Go away. Standard user. Right, it took me way too long to read that. I was trying to break that up into way too small parts. Hello. Okay, so this will not work because this assumes indexed data, and we don't currently support that. So now I've got to think. So we've got this. We're going to start introducing loads of new types, and I want to make sure it's reasonably consistent. So we've got load returns a mesh view, right? I wonder if this I suspect we need a mesh data, right? Source graphics mesh data .h. All right, and in here would have hash include vector hash include c student. Oh, I had it. Hash include include. Been a long day. Vertex data, and then struct mesh data, stud vector vertex data, vertices. Oh, then what? Sorry, the my little thing which tells me how people on Twitch wasn't working, and then that I sort of lost all self value at that point. Yes, learn OpenGL.com has been down for a bit. I blame Connor, who's been hammering it pretty hard recently. We've only had one BSOD, I think, and I have no idea what caused it. Okay, fine. So let's mesh some data, okay, and then graphics mesh data. But actually, let's do inline auto to string. Nope, it'd be nice if it was standardized. Const mesh data, and then we can do include format. String. Oh, no, let's try. Return stud format. Mesh data. B. I, because I'm lazy. And then we can do data dot vertices dot size. Data dot indices dot size. No, okay. Yeah, no, I'm not using AMD graphics card, if that's what you mean. You saying I'm to blame? Am I the streamer? Okay, so let's change this to return a oops, mesh data. Okay. So we can return dot vertices equals that, and then dot indices equals that, and then we can just move the indices into that. It's true, this is all pre-recorded. Okay, fine. So that should now give us that. So let's go over to the mesh manager. And then we're going to load in hash include graphics mesh data. I think we can now go away. Get rid of that, because this will now be a I think now I actually want to take ownership of this, right? Mesh data, because this is then going to go into. Oh, we're going to need 2 buffers now, because we're going to store the vertices along with the indices, but we're going to store them separately. Which means we might not need to expose a native handle. We might just need to call bind on this and let it do what it needs to do. It's getting complicated now. Let's worry about that later. Let's fix all this up first. Mesh data, graphics, mesh data, right? And then, so I actually wanted to then just push back to move mesh data, okay? Complex. I'm going to now need two separate bits of bookkeeping because I'm going to need to grow. You can probably assume if one grows, the other grows, right? I might just go mad, right? I want vertex data and index data, right? And then this will be a size of the UNCGT, and this will be the vertex mesh data and index mesh data. Because it's just one global massive buffer for all vertices and indices. The idea being that basically when the game starts, you'll just load all of your assets straight into the GPU, and they will just get appended to this massive array, and then that just sits there kind of resident, and we can pull from it as we need to. So now I need to basically, I think I can just assume then that if, can I assume that they will both need to grow? I'm not sure I can, because if you could have one bit of vertex data, and then like 1,000 indices. No, you couldn't. No, because the indices will always have to be less. No, you couldn't you? Because it renders them in triplets across the. Well, it does triangle, not triangle strip. It does triangles on those, so it renders them in triplets, right? So you could just render that same vertex over and over again, like thousands and thousands of times. So I will need to do separate bookkeeping for them all. Leon, hello. This feels like a template. Well, this is it. If I say it with enough confidence, then it must be true. Vertex data, GPU, and then so at the moment we basically say if the GPU buffer that's backing this data is too small, as in less than the size of our new data, then we need to keep doubling it until it is bigger. That's just our growth strategy. We could just set it to the new size, but the idea, in order to avoid keep doing this, we will keep doubling it. No, does that? Hello. And then we put in a synchronization barrier we'll put in a synchronization point to make sure the GPU is definitely finished with this. Then we reallocate the buffer, and then we return this mesh view here, which is going to have to change as well because that will need to have the index count in it as well. Sorry, if someone does like bang git or bang code or something, it should post a link. So let's what's this going to be called? This is going to be a little bit grim. Let's do something like auto resize GPU buffer, right? And I want to take all this and stick it in here. Okay, and now template class T. This would be like what are you storing in there? So you can do the size of T. Auto, because it's going to be a vector of these types anyway. So auto, what's mesh data CPU? That should be vertex. So there should be auto CPU buffer, right? It's never too late. It's fine. I'm sure we can catch up. Okay, so let's do. I think I want something like this, right? I think this can be const. So if we do CPU buffer dot size, and then I wonder if actually I should be more explicit. Let's just. And then this will be a UFPS. Let's not get carried away with the templates. I said never. So vertex. So let's do GPU buffer size. Then we'll double that whilst that is like that, and then UFPS log info. Oh, hang on, I'm also going to need a string view name, and then to keep the logging consistent as well, we can actually stick the name in that, right? So it'd be like, hey, this is the thing that we're doing, and then because GPU buffer is a reference, I think I should be able to just do GPU buffer equals UFPS buffer new size. I think that should handle it all for me. GPU buffer. Nope. Name. There you go. And then this should be buffer, not size. GPU buffer. The only difference between class and type name in here, I believe, is in this instance is if class is less typing. So I tend to prefer it. Some people do differentiate. So if you're expecting like a primitive type, you might use type name. If you're expecting a custom class, you can use class, but I don't really follow that philosophy. I just type class because it's less typing. If there is a difference, then I am not aware of it. Obviously, the type name key. Also, the type name. It's annoying because the type name keyword is overloaded because sometimes you need to use it to resolve an ambiguity in the grammar about whether it refers to a type or not. So at least this way, I'm keeping those two concepts separate. I don't know. Maybe sounds good. Okay, so now we should be able to do resize GPU buffer, and this will be vertex. Just realized something. Oh no, wait a minute. I've got I'm storing it all as mesh data. It's not going to work for me, is it? I think I actually do need vertex data, third vector, third UN32T. Vertex data and index data CPU. I think that's what I want. Hello. I'm trying to do some OpenGL rendering. Trying to do it. I think we're onto a winner here. Vertex data, index data CPU. So this actually now does become vertex data CPU dot append range mesh data dot vertex. And now I actually do need to go back to taking this by constref as well, because I'm not taking ownership again. Oh, this is exactly the same thought process I went through last time, and I did not learn. CPU indices. Let's do this step by step. So let's do resize GPU buffer now, and that will take a vertex data CPU, vertex data GPU, and the string view, vertex mesh data. And then we'll stick this under here, get rid of that. Okay, fine. Sorry, I'm kind of hacking on this. It's quite an organic process this today. I knew what I wanted to do, but I had no idea how I wanted to do it. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to kind of suffer through this together. Thank you. See if we can get rid of some of this red squiggly misery. Index data GPU. Right. I don't like the. I'm a strong believer that reserve shouldn't have any algorithmic effect. It's purely there as an optimization. However, I do think we need some capacity. Actually, do we even need that? Because we're just going to immediately append to it. So I don't actually think we need that. Because we don't do any size checks to the end. Ah, yes, you're right. That's why I need it. Yes, thank you. I'm not a massive fan of that, because this now, a reserve shouldn't have an algorithmic effect, right? The code should work functionally the same with and without reserve. It could potentially be more efficient if you do it. So I might remove that and then do some sort of min here. Let's get rid of it. So so this now needs to change, right? So we now have vertex offset, and then I don't even need. Wait a minute, hang on, no. If I'm just doing, I can just leave this as the indices, right? I don't actually care about the vertices anymore. Oh, it is reserve, not resize. No, because it doubles the size from the GPU buffer. Though, no, I don't need this, because we double the size of the GPU buffer, and this is what this does. This doesn't tell you, this is actually allocating this many bytes in it. Happy, Hamish? I know, I'm pretty pleased. There's good numbers at the moment. And I'm glad each and every one of you is here. It does make it a lot more interesting. So I think that's fine. So I think this, right, become, well, if I could spell it right, becomes that? Is that all we care about for the renderer? Because we're going to be doing element rendering. We just care about where the indices are. I might continue keeping this as vertex because I think, whilst I'm not a huge fan of like future-proofing stuff, at some point I know we will need to iterate through the vertex data, and it'd be good to be able to get that back. Although actually saying that, what are you going to do with those? No, okay, that's not. We're going to call that index. Okay, fine. So the offset will be now. So the offset, as in like where we're going to render from for this mesh, will start at the current end, right? Because we're going to append to it. Matt, I'm glad you're enjoying C++. It gets a bad rep, but I still think it's a great language. Come along to the Discord if that's your thing. There's lots of, if you want to ask some questions, or get involved. We're always happy to help out. Okay, so reinterpret class bar, that's fine. So we're gonna get. Oh no, this is just writing it, isn't it? So I now need to do 2 of these. So let's resize. Let's do this like chunk by chunk, okay? As in like, sorry, like logically bit by bit. So we do the vertex data first. So vertex data view becomes a view over the CPU data, right? And vertex dot size times size of vertex data, is that right? And then we're gonna, because regardless of whether we resize the GPU buffer, I basically opted to always just, because this is a slow operation, we're just going to re-upload all the GPU data. We could optimize this by just uploading that, but then we'd have to, if we resized it, we'd have to know whether we need to copy all the new data over, and it's just a lot easier. Like, I'd rather write, for something I know is not on the hot path, I'd rather keep the code simpler. Now watch as I introduce a copy and paste error here. Also, I think, by the way, which is quite not as nice, I think it will, because this T is used in this vector and I pass in a vector, it should deduce that type, so we shouldn't have to specify the template parameter, which is nice as well. Okay, so now index offset becomes the offset there, and then the index count becomes mesh data dot indices dot size, right? That is the, I think that's correct. The offset is basically the end of the GPU before we push anything to it, and then the count will be the number of things we just push to it. So that should be enough to get us going. I'm going to take a bold view here. And call this bind, because we need to bind several things, and I don't want like just passing out those handles just to bind them. It's actually, I'm in 2 minds. Native handle either becomes the two tuples, and then you have to do it yourself. I'm just trying to think what in terms of abstraction, should the mesh manager care about where it's bound? wow, learning C++ with Vulkan. You've certainly chosen the hard route, and that's not to say it's the wrong route. I'm just saying that is a tricky route. But best of luck to you. Yeah. So data buffer. I very rarely alias my own types. I'd rather just use the standard types, but for this, because we'll be using it a lot, data buffer is a vector of bytes, and then data buffer view is a spanner of those. I guess the only advantage of this is that now data buffer and data buffer view are similarly named, whereas like you had vector and span before, which are kind of two separate concepts. I don't know. I thought I'd try it for this. Yeah, because the other thing is I just do like... But it's not really a native handle at that point, it's native handles. Can I not use as byte? Is that, have I got that in this version? Oh, it's since 20. I thought as bytes was 23. Yes, I probably could have used that, but again, I still need to be able to, as bytes is a free function which produces the span, right? If I need to then pass that into another function, I will still need that type, right? So at least this way I can just say data buffer view. If that makes sense. So yeah, I could use as bytes to return it, but I would still need to give a name to that type. Indices is relative to vertices in the sense that these indices represent the indexes into this array of data that I need to render, right? So basically means that this, I need to represent this once, but then I can still reference it like here and here. So it cuts down the amount of data. When we draw a command, we will say where all that kind of needs to go and it'll put it all in. But because we will be growing this, we will keep track of that offset. So it should all just work. So I still don't... I might do it like this, only because also the only reason I am erring more on this is that technically when we bind this, we do have to give it an index, and we could standardize and say it's always going to be index 0, or we could then pass that data into bind. But I feel that we're kind of coupling those two things together. At least this way, the mesh manager is just like, well, your mesh manager is just like, here are the things, here are the handles that I have, you do what you want with them. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, that is a good point. I hadn't considered that. Yes. Do we need to modify these? Do we set a base in? So the point is that, let's say I put 2 of these cubes into the net, or 2 separate bits of data, but for the sake of conversation, let's say we load 2 cubes. The second one, 0 index will represent the first of the block of data we did, not this one. So I guess the question is, do we mutate these as we push them in because it's append only, or can I set an offset within the OpenGL API? I mean, like std string, std array, std vector, I'd say the pretty core tenants. So I think if you can use those, you're already on your way to using the API. Then you just got to go through the algorithm section and you're pretty much golden. Let's come back to that. I will see when we get to the command buffer if there's some way of specifying an offset, because there often is. If there's not, then yeah, we will just go in. The beauty of abstraction, we can just fix it in one place and everywhere we'll get it. So I'm going to... Maybe you make a mistake. I don't know. I'm going to do this. And then because my view of hang on. So I chose native handle because it's used. It's gone because that's what the function in std thread is called, which gives you either the Win32 thread handle or the POSIX handle out, and this is just like a native type. So it basically means it doesn't. This is platform dependent. So in our case, the native handle for this is a tuple of 2 ints. I may live to regret it, but we'll see. Specify the starting index. Okay, well we'll have a look. We'll have a look. See. And then 2 strings. So this should just be vertex count, index count, mesh. No, vertex data CPU dot size, index data CPU dot size. Okay. Point. It's the unit. It's honestly, my brain went dead then. I was like, what an opportunity for a witty retort, and it's a typo, mate. Okay, fine. So let's go to the renderer. So this is now going to be unhappy, but that's fine. So we can do const auto vertex handle vertex buffer handle index buffer handle equals scene dot mesh manager. To be honest, actually, that nope, that's right. Dot native handle. We can take that by value. We can unpack that anyway. So like that, so that's fine. And then this just becomes vertex buffer handle, right? Harand was here at the beginning, but he may I don't know. Sometimes he's off playing WoW. Okay, fine. So now we want to mix this up, and we want to change it to this GL multi draw elements indirect. Harand, can I specify an index offset when drawing this? So, well, into this. Instance count, and is first index the offset into the. If I've got a massive array of indices and I want to render just like a slice in the middle, but they're all like 0 to n relative to their vertex, can I do that? Oh, we've been raided. I missed that. Hello. Hello. We are arguing. We're not arguing. I'm discussing the meaning of some of these weird runes that OpenGL has presented me. Okay, so question then, Harand. If I have a bunch of indices for vertex data, and then I have a massive global array of these indices, but each like block of indices I append is relative to its vertex position, can I get OpenGL to basically add a number to each of these? So say I called this was the second thing I pushed into the global into that big array, and there were 3 vertices before. Can I basically automatically turn this into 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 3? There's a vertex offset as well. Yes. Right, we're here.
Playing from Nathan PC.
No, you're not. Don't know if you heard that. I'll unplug the help. Base vertex. Is this it? Base vertex. Right. I'm gonna stick that in and hope for the best. Okay, fine. So right, let's go back to the if we go back to the command buffer. Future proof. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you found it. These streams tend to be more like forward engineering, and the videos tend to be more reverse engineering. So, kind of, I guess, both of my interests. Cool. If you're interested, there's a Discord. Do come along and chat, or just hang out, and you can heckle from the back about my terrible C++ code. Right. Okay, so this is not going to like this anymore because our range is going to not be right because... Oh, actually, okay. Whoa. Let's take a step back. Indirect command is probably different now. This was for the arrays, and now I need count, instant count, first index, base vertex. So why is that signed? I guess you might need a negative if you're doing something weird with offsets. It just seems strange that is very explicitly signed. I guess I'll keep it consistent, but I'm not particularly happy about it. Oh, he's got the bug for making his own game engine. It's a slippery slope there, my friend. Welcome to never making a game again. Especially if you, presumably in the 5 years of using Unity, you made a game. I hate to tell you, but it's unlikely. It's unlikely you're going to be making a game again. Raylib's a great library. You should Raylib. Okay, right. Let's go back to this then. So I'm now going to build. So the count will be index count. The instance count is 1. The first index will be index count, index offset. And now the tricky one, I'm going to want base vertex equals 0, right? I obviously don't want it to be 0. I'm just kind of musing. That's better. Yeah. Thanks. We'll get. We might even get the spinning cube today. Let's see. We got plenty of time. We've got plenty of time. Okay. This now needs to be the cumulative size, right? So I really hate having transform with side effects, but I don't actually think there's a way around this. Ugh, and I return it here. Is that right? No, I'm not going to be doing any ECS. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. Is that right? I want to basically say all my indices, my base will be effectively I want to start the index off as the cumulative total of indices I've already rendered. Have I got vertex in there somewhere? Yeah, but hang on. We need to go to the much more friendly named GL draw elements instance space vertex space instance. As each specifies a constant that should be added to each element of indices when choosing elements from the enabled vertex array. So this is right. I want to add it to each element of indices. Is that right? There seems to be some debate, which I'm more than happy because I probably made a mistake. Oh, I see. Isn't that the... I don't think there is a vertex offset, is there? I don't have... This is all I've got. PHP was my first language, so I have it holds a special place in my heart. And I'll hear nothing bad said against it. So I think this is right. We want to add the... Oh, I see what you mean. What a great point. Yes, you're right. It is not... We're not shifting up by the indices. We're shifting up by the total number of vertices we've consumed. What a great point. Yes. So I do need to bring in the vertex offset. After all that saying I didn't need it. Yes. Okay, fine. Thank you. I completely missed that. Dot vertex count equals static. Oh, this view is getting a little bit heavy now, though. Like, I would still probably consider passing it by value, but it is... I suppose it's only the size of 2 pointers, so it's probably no bigger than a string view. So that's fine. But if this gets any bigger, we might consider this a not cheap to copy type. I can't remember. I don't need offset anywhere else, actually. No, I need to cache it before, don't I? Right, okay, so we're going to do index offset, vertex offset, and then vertices.size. Okay. I think Unity's pretty... I've not really used Unity. I think I dabbled with it a little bit at university, but not really in anger. But like a lot of people make a lot of great games in it, so you can't really complain. Right. Okay. I will be copying little bits from my previous project, but those were all written from scratch. So I feel I can kind of convince myself it's all from scratch, but it's not using any engines. You know, we're doing all the windowing stuff, the event stuff, the custom renderer, all that kind of things. Okay. Okay, so this all remains the same. This needs to be pulled out at some point because this is very similar to the other class. Like if I've written something twice, it probably needs to be pulled. Probably needs to be a template. Okay, so now OpenGL. Let's do multi-draw element. Is it multi-draw? GL multi-draw elements. Multi-draw elements. It's in there somewhere. Indirect proc. And then go back to the renderer. So now we're going to bind this. We're also going to do GL bind buffer. GL is element array buffer. Index buffer handle. I know, it's cursed, isn't it? And then GL multi-door elements indirect. Too few arguments. I've got some new ones now though. Mode mode type. Specify the type of data. This is what are the types that they have? It's like I need to tell it this argument here specifies the type of data in the element array buffer. So basically, your indices could be whatever you want. I've opted for uint32s, but they could be whatever. So I need to tell it effectively how much. It's effectively the stride of the elements in there. GL unsigned int 32 GL uint. What is it? The docs doesn't give you a. Here you go. GL unsigned int. Yeah, thanks. Sorry. So that's that. Fine. Indirect. Steady. Then I keep that. Keep the draw count because effectively I'm just the draw count is the number of commands in the buffer, of which there should be one. Is this going to render anything? I don't think this is going to render anything because won't I be effectively inside the cube? I suppose I don't have backface culling off, so we might see the inside of the cube. But I don't have backface culling off, so I should. I guess that's what I pretty much what I expected. Like I'm in the cube. It didn't explode. I'll take it. Thanks. I do like Azure. Should remind everyone of XNA. I'm going to commit this up because I think this is a good spot to kind of, and then we've got a bit of time to see if we can fudge in a camera, move around. Add OpenGL function. So this was a refact. Where did we pull this out of? This is quite a lot has changed. I feel like this should be. Hang on. Okay. Add mesh data struct, and then load mesh. Sorry, I always want to like store mesh. Store vertex and index data separately. Nice. Separately. Sorry, I can't spell. Indexed rendering. What's the changes here? Probably should be part of that. And to integrate renderer changes. Nailed it. Okay, cool. Let's game source matrix 4 to source math. Okay, I think more of this can be const expra now. Can this be const expra now? I think that probably could have been in the other one. I probably missed it. So this is a basic matrix 4 class that we wrote last time. I have absolutely zero desire to rewrite it because there's quite a lot of maths in it. The maths is not very good. It's not super optimized, but it is mine. Ooh, const expra explicit or explicit const expra? I feel like what a weird thing for me to get stuck on. Tatsu, hello. What a weird problem to have. I do feel like explicit should be first, but I can't articulate why. Explicit. Oh, no, sorry, I don't need that to be explicit, do I? So these are all fine. Don't need the quaternion yet, because... Oh, am I going to need it for camera angles, or do we just do that with Eulerian, pitch, and yaw? I can't remember if we pitch, roll, and yaw. I can't remember if I convert those to a quaternion or not. Oh well, we'll find out later, won't we? A little bit of deducing this. Ooh, we've been... What's happening? Something's happening on Twitch. I can't see it. All good things, I'm sure. Context for don't want that. Follow a goal. Nice. So many followers. Hello. Right. Context for some of these will need to be it is nice that a lot of this now just becomes context. What is all this? Oh, you can't do that. Okay, fine. Did I delete row, or did I just never have it? I'm confused. Oh, because row returns a matrix a vector 4, which I don't have. So that's a pain. I guess I might be multiplying by a vector 3 today. I'm not using any C libraries for it. Unless you count like the Win32 API, I guess. Or I guess technically OpenGL is a C API. Right, let's go here from game tests, matrix 4 tests into tests. FG SFC make in tests. We'll do matrix 4 tests, matrix for tests, send s game UFPS G. Okay, get rid of that. And then I just, so this one can go away. What else is not going to compile? Let's just see if that would be weird if it broke. But at least it will also tell us if it will compile because it's header only at the moment. So sure. Just check actually source matrix tests. Right, that works. The maths is mathsing, at least according to the tests I wrote. The tests might be wrong, but at least they're consistent. Why was I doing all this? Oh, camera. I want to change camera slightly for this. And I will tell you for why. Game source. Where does camera? So this, I do think some stuff might need shuffling around because camera should be in a folder. But it's not part of graphics. And in fact, scene, this was mentioned last time, I do, the more I think about it, the more I think scene and entity are too high level. I think we need like a core. How do we feel about a core directory and things like the scene and the entity and the camera and the stuff that's not gameplay related, but part of the, will be part of the kind of framework through which we make a game. It's kind of nebulous enough that I can kind of convince myself it's right. So I'm just going to quickly wire this into the CMake. And now we can actually have a look at what we're working with. So, oh my goodness, frustrums. Oh my goodness, what a horrible flashback that is. Yeah, just gonna hide that. Okay, so this is the API for the camera. I don't want to do any frustrum culling in this. So this is all the chuff that we have now. The issue that we had last time is that this is kind of reasonably nicely abstracted, blah, 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 blah. But we had to, each frame, copy out these matrices and then copy those into a buffer. What I want to do this time is actually the data that I know is going to go to the GPU, have this packed into a struct internally. So all these methods will just work off that struct, but then there'll be like a dot data or something like that. And then that we can just copy over to the GPU, especially as we're probably going to want triple buffering for this as well, because we're going to be updating every frame. So I think what I want is something like struct camera data. What we're going to need, we're going to need probably just view and projection to start off with. Right, and then let me spell that. So if you want to get the view and the projection, you can see those comes as this was it. We had these miserably raw bytes as well to facilitate all this. I think we can kind of get rid of this, right? And then we can just basically have like auto data const camera data, something like that. Then if you need to serialize that, whatever, it's kind of up to you. Because we ended up with this whole like data misery last time. I think that's better. So you kind of got the user-friendly interface with it. You know, get me the projection. Oh no, sorry, that's a bad example. Got rid of that. Get me the up vector. Get me this. Get me that. And then like, oh, well, actually, the point where we need to squirt it into the GPU, it's kind of already packed in a structure that makes sense. We can just get that out, and then we can just reinterpret, cast that to some sort of byte array. And we could also technically have like that as well, which will do the reinterpret cast misery for us. I use Windows as my main driver, but then I use Ubuntu in WSL, so I get the best of both worlds. So this is actually game UFPS G. So let's stick this here. So that'll be return data, and this will be return reinterpret cast constant byte of data, size of data. That should. Oh, hold on. There you go. Cannot. Pretty sure it is allowed. It seems to think I've lost the constness there. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, what? Sorry. It's been stupid. Yeah, right, okay, I'm getting there. Probably a namespace missing at the end. There you go. Okay. Now I just need to rewire all this to can that be context for? Have we got context for maths now? Don't see why not. So what I need now is data dot view equals that and then dot projection equals that. Well, that's a long line. Clang format is having none of that. That's all fine. That's all fine. Why did I need to do this? I needed to re-update the view afterwards. I can't remember why, but I'm sure it makes sense. This is for the orthographic one, isn't it? So this, it just becomes the same gubbins as the other one. So we do what? Data dot view equals, and then dot projection equals missed? What have I missed? Probably that. I really wish that wasn't quite such a long line. If I stick a comma there, nope. Okay, fine. I'm sure that's all fine. Blah, 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 blah. So then all these just become, so can I just do % view underscore becomes data dot view. I guess the projection remains the same. Pretty sure I told you to change all of them, so no need to be a dick about it. Okay, I think that's what we want. Turns out I cannot Vim today. %s view data dot view data dot view g. Thank you. I do think a lot of these could. I do think a lot of this camera might be able to become context explorer, so I might think about doing that after we got it working. I could potentially just shift it all over to a header file and make it context explorer because it's just maths. It's just maths. Maths is context explorer now. Okay, so I've got a camera class. Does it blend? No. What am I missing? I can go for a star. Utils that. I guess I need print. I don't need array. Not logging anyway, so I don't know why that needs to be in there. Okay, camera blends. So the next existential question is who owns the camera? Last time, no one owned the camera. I am wondering if this time the scene, yeah, I think the scene should own the camera. So this should have a camera. Right, I've got to try and figure out. This is true, yeah. Right. Right, let's put it at the origin. Let's look at down the Z, like into the monitor, into the screen. So 0.0f, 0.0f minus 1.0f, right? Stare down the barrel of the Z axis. Up will be 1.0, will be pretty standard up. Field of view will be 45 degrees. So what's that? Pi over 4. Stood. Is it? Where is it? Is it in numbers? Numbers. Pi v float over 4.0f. The width will be window dot window width. The height will be window dot window height. Actually, I think doesn't that want to be the renderer width? And the near plane is, isn't it something like 0.01f and then like 1000.0f? These seem like sensible. Oh, these, they are. That seem like sensible camera values? Well, I'll leave them up over there for you to look at as I start plumbing it in. So, okay, next question. If I am triple buffering, right? So hang on, let's do I want this? And then I supply in a uniform the index number. How else can I communicate which one to pull from, right? Because up until now, I know we've changed it slightly, but this vertex data isn't triple buffered because we don't need it to be. It's effectively uploaded once and forgotten about. The command buffer is triple buffered, but the mechanics of handling that is handled elsewhere. Oh, can you bind with an offset? So you can bind. Yes, you can. GL bind range. That's a good point. Bind buffer range. So so yeah, I could just buffer and offset. Yeah, okay, fine. That's what I'll do then. Okay, easy. So in fact, I just need data then, like that. Do I need... Can I just do this and not worry about camera data? Does that make it easier? I can't really see the point in defining a struct just to pull the individual bits out if I can just do it directly like that. Does that help me? Is this cromulent? The silence is deafening. Does it not? Oh, of course, because I don't have to access it through camera. Yes. Because if you look here, this data actually just becomes global. You don't access it through vertices. Do you see we have data here? I'm gonna leave it as is, because I think it's fine. But I reserve the right to regret my decision. So now has this become view times project? Obviously, we've got no model at the moment. Is that right? Is that the ordering right? Almost certainly going to get it wrong. And then right, so now I need to do bind. Well, first I need to resolve the function I want, obviously. Bind buffer range, bind buffer range. And then I need to actually hang on. Before I do any of that, I need to store the data somewhere, don't I? So command buffer, hash include graphics, multi-buffer, and hash include graphics persistent buffer, and then we're going to have camera buffer, and this is going to be Nope, that's not a type. Sorry, hang on. It's going to be multi buffer, persistent buffer, camera buffer. And then we're going to do renderer, and then we're going to do hash include core camera. Right, getting it out. Right, so this will complain because I've not initialized it. So this is camera buffer, and then this is going to be initialized with camera. No, I think it's just camera data. Size of right. Name, obviously. I keep forgetting that. Camera buffer. Okay. So this will give us the size of the data that we want. Because it's multi-buffer, it will automatically triplicate it and handle the bookkeeping around that as long as we remember to advance it. We don't store the current frame index from multi-buffer, do we? But I think we should. We get the frame offset. Actually, no, that's what I need because I'm going to buffer a range, aren't I? Sorry, excuse me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's do GL bind. Oh, have I got bind buffer base range? Just realized. Oh no, it's all done through bind buffer range, I think. Range. So GL and then it has an index, and then the name of the buffer object. So this will be camera buffer dot. Ooh, do I not have a native handle? Ooh. An oversight. Multi-buffer. How bizarre. Okay, auto native handle. Return whatever the underlying buffer type is. We can keep that as a deduced argument type. Okay, so now we can native handle. That's nice. The offset, the starting offset in basic machine units into the buffer object buffer. So this will be camera buffer dot frame offset bytes. Nice that we added that earlier. And then the amount of data in the machine units that can be read from the buffer, and that will be size of camera data. I think we're golden. So then, if we just do, after we render the scene, we'll do, so before we render the scene, we'll do scene.camera.translate 0.0f, 0.0f, 0.01, 0.01f. So that means we should slowly draw away from the cube. goofed? Where have I goofed? Oh, hang on. There's a few things I haven't written the camera data to the buffer. I sure have bound it, but I've not written anything yet. And then I need to camera buffer advance. Also, I think if I made it, oh, hang on, I've just noticed something as well. Utils, data buffer. This could and should be, the whole point was to stop writing all this misery. So this should be a data buffer view. Not that it matters, it's just an alias, but let's, in fact, I believe that would still compile. But that's, okay, right. Let's try that. I just wanted a good starting point. Like, I just didn't have the time to fully configure it all myself. I wanted like a decent base that I can get going from, and someone recommended it to me. So, okay, this will work. Is that too slow? Oh, and it's gone. Thoughts? Is this going too quick and then it's just going outside the clip space? We should be triple buffering the camera data because, well, let's verify this. So render uses a multi-buffer persistent buffer. And then in the render itself, we write the camera data to it. And then we advance it. And then we only buffer to that index the current chunk that we've just written to. Yeah, I respect that as well. I guess render doc will help us. What? I think key presses will kill the game before I can send the command to render doc. So let's do if arg dot key equals UFPS key escape. I always thought it was model view projection vertex. But let's see what happens. So if I take a capture here, right, and then when we'll take a capture here, we'll see what happens. So Well, actually, let's do the happy state first. So here we have our thing, GMOS draw direct. I guess there's not really a lot to look at, but we have two errors and warnings. Buffer detailed in object mesh data. Oh, I don't care. I don't think I care about those. Also, I've got buffer somewhere I've not named, but whatever. I don't think I care about that. I was expecting. Oh, is it projection view model then? Okay, fine. Well, we can give that a quick go. Maybe this will steady. Maybe this will fix all our woes. I've got vertex data here though, right? Or am I looking at this wrong? Thank you. There we go. Well done. Nice. Okay, let's super quick comment this up. I might just see if I can whip out the camera controller from the old project, just so we can move around it. Oh my god, I've made so many changes. Add make sure it's for class and tests. Add camera class. Add more OpenGL functions. Expose native handle from multi buffer. Render with camera. Add camera to those two commits in the wrong order, but I don't care. Integrate changes. Thanks, Queco. Yes, Harand, I get that. Don't worry. I don't think I'm not going to be much longer. I'm just going to quickly see if I can slap in a camera controller, and then we'll be done. Feel free to call out all my typos. I reserve the right to ignore them though. Where was the one here? Oh yeah, that's fine. We can just fix that. That won't take long. Okay, if I got a camera controller somewhere from the previous project. Where's that going to be? Probably in player. What we can actually probably do first of all is yeah, I got round to spare. Else if const expr is the same as t. I use Vim so I can use tmugs, and I don't know, quite like it. Mouse event. So if we get the mouse event here, and then we do scene.camera. That might just allow us to look around. There we go. And then I need to integrate like a key map state and stuff for that. So I'm just gonna leave that there, but I think that's kind of a good place to end it. So add mouse controls for camera. Next stream we will it's quite a lot done today. Let me just push this up and get the PR going. I think we can tick off render cube from the to-do list. And then FPS. Who knows? Who knows? Title, cube, nailed it. Create pull request. So while that's kicking off the checks, what I think we'll do, so next stream, which should be Sunday, we will spend a couple of hours expanding on what we've got now. So what needs to be done is we need to have to move around with the WSAD keys. So we need camera movement. We need a basic lighting rig in there, probably just like a directional light, an ambient light and a directional light to start with. Then I want to start building out the material system, so we can have specular lighting and stuff like that. Then I want early on, so before we even do textures, I want to do ImGUI integration. So we should be able to add cubes and then position them through the UI. Probably not change the color because that's all going to go away with textures anyway. Everything's going to be driven by textures in this. So, but at least be able to spawn up new cubes, move them around, maybe move the light around, have all that integrated. And then once that's done, bind those textures. And then once that's done, I mean, the game's basically done at that point, like model loading and ship it. Yeah, right. Cool. We'll just see if this spins. We can all sit here together, really drag out those ad revenue by watching the build. But yes, there will be a progress post. I don't think I got any shorts out of this stream. At least I don't remember pressing the button, which is a bit of a shame. But I guess there can't be. Sometimes you just got to get down and do work and not think about not think about how you can repackage it into short form content. But I've got a bunch of shorts already in the hopper for this new series, so I'm going to try and keep up with it. So what I've been doing after each stream is cutting up the stream into shorts. So I'll keep up once I've got like a 2-week buffer. I will start releasing them. Cool. Okay, so that built and run. So this should be fine. Merge pull request, confirm merge, and then we'll just do a quick release build. Or I won't. The machine will. Yeah, I got, I think, 4 shorts out of the last stream. So they kind of went, oh no, lost the race condition. I know, right? I'll fix it one day. I almost certainly won't. But I feel, despite maybe, I mean, obviously, my aim for these streams is to talk C++ and talk graphics and make progress, not to make shorts. Then I feel like it was quite a successful stream today. I feel I got quite a lot done. Quite pleased with I'm really pleased with the buffer abstraction we've got. I do think it might need a little bit of tweaking, but at the moment, I think it's pretty good. It works pretty well. It does all the things I want it to do. Oh, I will not hear a bad thing said against PHP. It was my first language. Okay, while that's doing that, I will get some big in my face. Okay, I think that's all I've got to say. Thank you very much for coming along and spending some time with me and keeping me company. It's been great. I feel like we made a lot of progress today. It's always nice to end the stream on a high. Oh, I tell you what I've not been doing. I have not been tagging these. I've not been tagging these at all. So what was the... Where are we at to? I don't think I tagged the last one either, so... We had stream 3 before the merge, so this would be stream 4, and then this will be stream 5. I think. And then I might as well watch this build. We're so close. All this code is open source as well, including the build system and everything. It's all Dockerized, the build system, so it should just work. Should get a Discord message in a minute. I don't know if anyone did. I didn't. Okay, so that's... Okay, fine. So if we now go back to here, if we check out main and then pull it down, this should have our new, okay, so the merge and the bump, the version bump, that all works nicely. So yeah, that is pretty cool. So we're all set for next stream, where we will build out the renderer a little bit more. We need camera controls, we need some lights in there, we need some MGUI, we need loads of stuff. It's going to be quite a busy one next stream, so it should be good fun. Something Discord. I'm going to hang out there for a couple of hours, have a couple of beers, and other than that, I hope everyone had fun, and I will see you all anon. Yes, there's a December challenge. Do come to Discord. You should do that. Thank you, AC, for reminding me. We have a community challenge on at the moment. Come and write some shaders and maybe win some prizes. Like ephemeral, like Discord prizes. Bye.